ঠিক আছে স্যার? হ্যাঁ
ভালো আছি।
আমি ভালো আছি, তুমি কেমন আছো?
Yeah, that's a lovely time to come. And anyway, within the
Very good vegetarian.
I do like it.
You like to
No.
I like vegetarian.
I get to eat.
I love to eat.
I can't get it. Then you check if you get the cow. So do they not have dhoti? What?
Nadrati, long time.
Thank God we met you. Thank God we met each other. No, no. Hi, how are you? Good. Yeah, you. Yeah, nice meeting you. And I know that I must be shouting at all of you because you must be hating me. And now the time is so kind. Kind? I was never kind.
Hello.
Hi, how are you? I was never kind. I only shouted and shouted and shouted. But it doesn't matter. It was for your betterment. I was it was for your betterment. And if you're kind and with much, he was a little thing.
You were mine.
কেমন আছো? তুমি এখন অ্যাডিশনাল কলেজে যাও, তাই তো?
What someone told me that.
Just small things.
I'm not among you guys, okay, the hyper. I'm outside. No, I did. But I did that. No, I didn't say that. Amazing. It's a guy sitting there near Ruby Mukherjee. Right? Just turn around and look at him.
That's the one I think is protecting the chair otherwise.
এইবার একটু দেখছি করতে সোজা ঠিক আছে আবার এইদিকে কাজ হচ্ছে না তুমি এইটা ছিল এইটা না এইবার ও যা এটা কেন মনে হচ্ছে এটা অনেক কাজ আমার এখানে অনেক কাজ হয়ে গেছে দেখ এদিকে যাও না দেখ তোমার ধীরে ধীরে করতে যখন ওদিকে হবে সেদিকে এদিকে মেন ফ্রেমটা করে রেখে এদিকে যা আছে আসুন কিন্তু দরকার হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ ওইটা তো ঠিক আছে হ্যাঁ
Hi, I'm Gulf. 10 years. For what? Oh, you got married. Oh, very good. So why have you come back? We divorced. It was good. We divorced him. The big nuisance anyway. No. I left that place. Another place. Yes, so you go to what non-money?
That's why we are happy. Can't you see? Peace. Sandwiches with a lot of water.
No.
$6.50. She's here as our member. We have a really board.
I'm so happy to learn that growing up. When did you arrive? Oh, for the holidays, because everything in Delhi is also shut down for arbitration and everything. Lawyers will be traveling. Oh, I see. But you know, I'll tell you one thing that this liberated from the burden of British office, touch with your English vendor. You have lost weight, you're looking so fit. Honestly, touch with really is like,
It's older than the High Court.
আর জীবনে আছে কি বলতো ওয়েট স্যার কোকের মাঝে মাঝে আর কিছু
সিনিয়রদের সঙ্গে
তুমিও তো করো
5-7 বছর আগে সকালে স্ট্রেচিংটা করতেই start building.
Hi.
Hi. How are you? Very good to see you.
Food and good food
Good evening.
Very long discussion over
Hello.
Meeting. He wants to start.
The Honourable the Chief Justice of India, Dr. D.Y. Chandrachud, the Honourable Justice Bhushan Ramakrishna Gawai, Judge, Supreme Court of India, the Honourable Justice Dipankar Datta, Judge, Supreme Court of India, the Honourable Justice T.S. Shivadnanam, Chief Justice, Calcutta High Court, Honourable Judges, past and present, of the Honourable Supreme Court, other High Courts, as also our very own Calcutta High Court. On behalf of the Bar Library Club, I take great pleasure in welcoming you to the Bicentenary year celebration of this august institution. 200 years seems a very long time. Members have come and gone, but the club has survived not because it has transformed itself into an institution, but because a relationship has developed between the club and its members. A bond that has survived both age and time. It is a privilege on our part to have in our midst today the Honourable Chief Justice of India and other Honourable Judges of the Supreme Court, other High Courts, as also our own Calcutta High Court. May I request the Honourable Chief Justice of India, Dr. D.Y. Chandrachud, the Honourable Justice Bhushan Ramakrishna Gawai, the Honourable Justice Dipankar Datta, and the Honourable Justice T.S. Shivadnanam to come up on stage. I would also request two senior members of the Bar Library Club, Mr. Anindya Kumar Mitro and Mr. Jayanta Kumar Mitro, and the Vice President of the Bar Library Club, Mr. Ajay Krishna Chatterjee, to also come and be on the dais.
Not between we are all government accredited journalists and nani koto darate.
It is time now to present a small memento to each of our guest dignitaries on stage. The first memento for the Honourable Chief Justice of India, Dr. D.Y. Chandrachud. A memento now to the Honourable Justice Bhushan Ramakrishna Gawai. I would now request a memento to be presented to the Honourable Justice Bicentenary. And of course, a memento to the Chief Justice of Calcutta High Court, Mr. D.S. Shivadnana. We are privileged to have in our midst today Justice Dotto's wife, Mrs. Dotto. On behalf of Bar Library Club, it will be a pleasure to give her a small moment. We start off this evening's program with a welcome address by Mr. John Kudinto, a senior member of the Bar Library Club.
Good evening, everyone. My Lord, the Honorable the Chief Justice of India, my Lord, Mr. S. Bicentenary, my Lord, Mr. S. Gawai, my Lord, the Honorable Chief Justice of Calcutta High Court, my friends and colleagues of the bar. I consider it a privilege to be asked on behalf of the Bar Library Club to extend warm welcome to the learned judges who are in the dais, the learned judges who are not in the dais, in the audience, auditorium, and also our friends who are all present here. This afternoon, I, along with a few members of the Bar Library Club, had the great pleasure and privilege to welcome and take around the Honorable the Chief Justice, Mr. of India, Mr. S. Gawai, Mr. S. Bicentenary, and all the guests who were present. Of course, I was asked the names of a few of the legal luminaries who had adorned the Bar Library Club at one point of time or the other, and whose portraits were hung, but not so old as I am today. I could not remember all the names, so I could not introduce all of them. But I had the pleasure and privilege of introducing some of them. I must give you a very short background of the Bar Library Club, which you see now today. My Lord, I must give you this because this is something which is worth knowing. It was 16th of July, 1825, that the Bar Library Club commenced its journey with only 16 members, all English barristers, in a meeting presided over by the then Advocate General. A barrister, Mr. Longdale Clark, to whom we all of us are very grateful because he was the man who was instrumental in bringing into existence this august institution. He got a room allotted for the Bar Library Club and also procured the library. That's the first time the library was set up, and it was given the name Bar Library Club for the use of its members. The club was allotted a room in the town hall, in this very building, wherefrom the original site of the High Court was operating. Thus, this august institution started its long journey. It is interesting to know that 37 years after the Bar Library Club had commenced its journey, the first High Court of India, being the High Court of Judicature at Fort Williams in Bengal, was established by the Royal Charter on 1st July 1862. The first Indian barrister to become a member of our club was Galendra Mohan Tagore in 1865. and he was followed by Manmohan Ghosh and Michael Madhusudan Datta in 1866. However, unfortunately, for whatever reason, I don't know the reason, Michael Madhusudan Datta, in spite of all his name and fame, he was not admitted as a member of the Parliament Club. And this is to our great misfortune. I dare say that any institution or association of persons would be proud to celebrate 200 years of its existence. The fact that it has lived that long is not only an evidence of its innate strength and resilience, but is also a testimony of its invaluable service to and therefore acceptance by the society. Our club's contribution to the independence movement was immense. I am not going to burden you with all its glorious history because it is going to be a long history, except for mentioning that 5 of our past presidents had been the president of Indian National Congress, which included W.C. Banerjee, Baron S.P. Sinha of Raipur, and Deshbandhu Chittaranjan Das. I wonder how many associations of professional lawyers can boast of having given this country 2 attorney generals, 3 solicitor generals, 7 law members of the Government of India, 3 members of the Judicial Committee of Privy Council, and 20 Tagore law professors. The contribution of the Parliamentary Club and the bench to the bench of the Honorable Supreme Court is also remarkable. 14 of our members became judges of the Supreme Court. 4 of them having adorned the highest judicial post, namely the Chief Justice of India. The restitution of the Parliamentary Club was not built in a day. We, the members of our club, are keen to carry forward this tradition. Our members, consisting of about 300 advocates, are intelligent, industrious, intense, and devoted. They are highly excited that the Honorable Chief Justice of India and the senior judges of the highest court of the land have come in their midst. It has been a long time since the Chief Justice of India has visited our High Court. The last one I remember, but I have not seen that, was Mr. Justice Venkalacharya. That was quite a long time back. We happily welcome this opportunity of savoring every moment of your presence in our midst, your lordships, and again express our sincere gratitude for having spared this time for us. Thank you very much.
Now that all of us, particularly the distinguished guests, have been formally welcomed, it's time now for the ceremonial lighting of the lamp. May I humbly request the Honourable Chief Justice of India to do the honors. May I now request the Honourable Justice T.S. Shivadnana, Chief Justice of the High Court of Calcutta, to address this audience.
The Lord, the Honourable Chief Justice of India, Dr. D. Bicentenary, the Lord Honourable Justice B.R. Gawai, Honourable Justice Deepak Datta, judges of the Supreme Court of India, my colleague judges of the High Court of Calcutta, High Court of State of Telangana, High Court of Odisha, Allahabad, Patna, Punjab and Haryana, former judges of the Honorable Supreme Court and the High Court of Calcutta, the President and Secretary and office bearers and members of the Bar Library Club, President and Secretary of the Bar Association, President and Secretary of the Incorporated Law Society of Calcutta, learned senior and junior members of the Bar Library Club, specially noticed media, members of print and electronic media, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. At the outset, I express my sincere thanks to the President and Secretary and members of the Bar Library Club for giving me this opportunity to stand before you on this momentous occasion, namely the completion of 200 years of the Bar Library Club. I am privileged to be present in the function where the Honorable Chief Justice of India is the Chief Guest and attended by the Honorable Judges of the Supreme Court, the Honorable Chief Justices and Honorable Judges of and Senior Advocates. As mentioned by Mr. Jayanto Mitro, that is Senior Advocate, in fact, a couple of the details I gathered from the website of the Bar Library Club, sorry for repetition, was established on 15 June 1825, 2 centuries ago, and the oldest law bar in the whole of Asia. It came into being 50 years after the Supreme Court at Calcutta was established on 22nd October 1774, and 37 years before the High Court of Calcutta was established in 1862. And though at present there are approximately 400 members in the Bar Library Club. No chronicle of an institution will be complete without reminiscing about the intellectual giants who created its glorious past and elevated its present stature, either by their involvement in public life, through their invaluable contribution in the struggle for independence, and thereafter in their effective involvement in the administration and governance of free India, or by means of their contribution in the field of literature, art, culture, or by advancing the cause of administration of justice, not only by their superb advocacy and astute analysis of legal principles, but by their interpretation of the Constitution of India, or by assisting in framing of beneficent legislations in public interest and in the interest of those sections of the Indians for whose benefits they were framed. Various eminent personalities have been members of the Bar Library Club over its journey, including Mr. Yendranath Mohan Tagore, the first Indian barrister, Mohan Ghosh, W.C. Banerjee, the first president of the Indian National Congress, Dr. Radha Vinod Pal, member of the International Military Tribunal for Far East for the trial of war crimes in Japan during Second World War, Sarat Chandra Bose, Sir Sudhanshu Mohan Bose, former Advocate General of West Bengal, Hem Sanya, Virendra Dev, former Attorney General of India, N.C. Chatterjee, Subimal Roy, who was elevated directly from the bar to the bench of the Supreme Court, Mr. A.K. Sen, Siddharth Shankar Ray, former Chief Minister of West Bengal, Subodhra Roy Chaudhary, well-known jurist who specialized in public international law, Somnath Chatterjee, former Speaker of the Lok Sabha, Atul Pradar Sen, poet and lyricist, and Mihir Sen, the long-distance swimmer, to name a few. Politics is another field in which Bar Library Club has done its bit. 5 of its members have been presidents of the Indian National Congress. The Bar Library Club, throughout the national struggle for freedom, served as a brain bank on which political leaders have been freely drawn. Since its inception, the Bar Library Club was exclusively a male preserve until Mrs. Namita Gopal, Mrs. Maya Ray, Mrs. Padma Kastigar, Mrs. Manjula Bose, Mrs. Leela Seth, Mrs. Puthiba Banerjee, Mr. Urmibala Mukherjee, and Mrs. Uma Paul, who later became the judge of the Supreme Court, joined as their members. The tradition of the club are not built in a day. They were slowly and steadily built by a galaxy of men who were named above and many others. I had the good fortune of being invited to the Bar Library Club thrice to unveil portraits of legal stalwarts and witnessed great cordiality among the members. The Bar Library Club has served the society all these years, all these 200 years, which has helped to build lawyers of learning. I hope and trust that this great institution will continue to live up to the expectation and serve the society. I once again thank the organizers for this wonderful opportunity. Thank you very much.
May I now, with all humility, request the Honourable Justice Bhushan Ramakrishna Gawai, Judge, Supreme Court of India, to kindly address this audience.
The Honourable Chief Justice of India, Dr. Justice Bicentenary, Justice Calcutta, my learned brother from the Supreme Court, Chief Justice of the High Court of Calcutta, Justice Shivagnan, Chief Justice of Sikkim High Court, Chief Justice Omdar, my esteemed colleagues, Justice Indira Banerjee and Justice Aniruddha Bose, my brothers and sisters from Calcutta High Court as well as the other High Courts present here, office bearers and members of the Bar Library Club, High Court of Calcutta, the senior members present on the dais and all the dais, Srimati Uma Datta, the lawyers and friends present here. I also see our Additional Solicitor General Vikram Banerjee present in the audience. Being invited as a special guest to celebrate the bicentennial of such an historic institution as the Bar Library Club is truly a great honor for me. As we gather to commemorate this remarkable milestone, we honor the profound impact the club has had and continues to have on the legal community, reaffirming our commitment to the values and principles that have defined it for nearly 200 years. The Bar Library Club, as has been stated, is a testament and epitome of history. Established in 1825, it holds the distinguished honor of being the oldest bar in Asia. Its rich heritage is reflected in the countless legal luminaries who have graced its halls, contributing to the advancement of the legal field both locally and internationally. Some of the prominent members of this club include W.C. Banerjee, the first President of the Indian National Congress, Sharat Chandra Bose, a key figure in India's freedom movement and a prominent lawyer, also graced the halls of this institution. Sri Sinashu Mohan Bose, the former Advocate General of West Bengal, made significant contributions to the legal profession and upheld the highest standards of advocacy and integrity. James Sandar and many others have also left an indelible mark on the legal landscape through the association with the Bar Library Club. This illustrated roster of members underscores the club's significant role in shaping the legal, social and political fabric of our nation. The legacy continues to inspire current and future generations of legal professionals who gather within the historic institution's walls. On a personal note, I must mention the contribution of the members of the Calcutta Bar, who had immensely contributed to the Bombay High Court as its Chief Justices. Justice Chittadosh Mukherjee served the Bombay High Court as the Chief Justice for a period of more than 3 years between 1987 to 1991. He was one of the most popular Chief Justices of the Bombay High Court. He was known for his simplicity, pleasant mannerisms, and profound knowledge of law. As a junior member of the bar, I had the privilege of arguing before the full bench presided over by His Lordship concerning the interpretation of the term in relation to as is appearing in Article 341 of the Constitution. Chief Justice Manoj Kumar Mukherjee, though served as the Chief Justice for a short period, put an indelible imprint in the Bombay High Court for its expertise in various fields of law and especially criminal law. Coming near, Honorable Mr. Justice Datta provided an able leadership to the Bombay High Court between April 2020 to December 2020. Known for carrying all his colleagues together and also the members of the bar, he proved to be an astute of being one of the most popular chief justices of the Bombay High Court at the principal seat, as well as benches at Nagpur, Aurangabad and Panji. I still distinctly recollect when he was coming to Bombay from Calcutta during COVID period. I tried to persuade him to come by the government charter, but he chose to drove all the way along with Yuva Bhabi and his son to Mumbai. I will be filling in my duty if I fail to mention my learned colleagues, Justice Indira Banerjee and Justice Aniruddha Bose. Indira Didi, as we fondly call her, is a loving and affectionate and an elder sister to all of us. Justice Aniruddha Bose and I were elected together to the Supreme Court in 2019. We had the pleasure of working together for almost 5 years in the Supreme Court. His soft and amicable nature endeared him to one and all. These personalities and their association with the Calcutta Bar also reveals the rich intellectual history of the city of Calcutta. Author Krishna Datta in his book Calcutta, The Cultural and Literary History, narrates about the vibrant city and writes that Calcutta has nourished a wide range of writers, painters, musicians, actors and filmmakers, not to mention thinkers and scientists. Its exterior may have been dreamy, but its inner life was always the most exciting in India. It is also a great city of commerce, politics and religion, expressed through its many temples and festivals. The city of Kolkata, in the history and development of legal profession, is also unparalleled. By British legislation, the Supreme Court of Calcutta was established in 1774. Author Samuel Scrivener, in his seminal work, A Sketch of the Development of Legal Profession in India, writes, and I quote, "The establishment of the Supreme Court brought recognition, wealth, and prestige to the legal profession and brought a steady flow of well-trained barristers and solicitors into Calcutta." Unquote. Thus, Kolkata emerged as one of the few cities which nurtured the legal profession. Today, we must not only reflect on the history of the Bar Library Club and the legal profession at large, but also consider the future outlook of the legal profession. The legal profession has evolved through different phases. Today, as we march ahead in the time of globalization and technological changes, the justice delivery system has to be reoriented in tune with the pace of technological advancements. Renowned scholar and expert Richard Sakin has argued that the impact of technology on the courts is transformative in nature. The way of technology and digitalization has changed how we interact with the justice delivery system. It is a matter of great satisfaction that our courts are embracing innovations such as e-filing, online dispute resolution, and data analysis, which has strengthened the process and improved the overall effectiveness of the justice system. Under the leadership of the Chief Justice of India, the Supreme Court of India has taken numerous initiatives in this regard. Courts have adopted different facets of technology, but only integrating technology into the system cannot equip us enough to face the challenges of today's dynamic time. We also need to equip our justice delivery system with diverse human resources. Therefore, it is imperative for us to look beyond the interface of the virtual screen and understand the challenges that stand in the way of fostering an advanced legal profession. Even today, our legal profession suffers from the same issues as it used to be in the past. Even now, the legal profession is traditionally dominated by men and people from upper caste. Samira Dalwai, a legal scholar writing on the nature of the Indian legal profession, noted how the legal profession works as a male-dominated field. She observed, and I quote, "The glass ceiling is real. In litigation, the beak of the lawyer as a shark with aggressive winning streak makes clients prefer men to represent them in the court. In law firms, the exclusive old wife network, office politics, and show-off culture are hard games to play. Our current Chief Justice of India has said that the field of arbitration is also like an old Boys Club. Today I am happy to see a large representation of the women in the judiciary in the country. Under the leadership of Chief Justice of India, we are making every effort to give more representation to the women on the bench in the different high courts. The provision is still not very welcoming for people coming from marginalized communities. A report by American Bar Association reveals that Dalits and marginalized communities face structural barriers in the legal profession. These communities face implicit and explicit biases in the legal practice. Therefore, it is important for us today, especially those who are in the constitutional offices, to recognize the challenges faced by the disadvantaged sections of the society, not only in about accessing courtrooms, but also in building a community of lawyers and legal professionals who can represent them in the courtrooms. This requires strong and comprehensive measures, not only by the state, but also by other institutions, and most significantly by individuals who hold influence and privilege in the legal profession. It is thus my suggestion to the Bar Library Club to assess the current membership composition, especially focusing on how many lawyers from the marginalized sections and women are members of the club. If these numbers are low, it is imperative to take active measures to encourage more law professionals from these marginalized groups to pursue and sustain a career in the courts. Often law graduates from marginalized communities seek jobs that offer immediate stability, as the legal profession, particularly in its initial years, does not provide a stable income. This economic uncertainty can deter talented individuals from marginalized backgrounds from entering or remaining in the legal field. Therefore, it is crucial to implement initiatives that support these lawyers and address the structural barriers they face. Especially, we need to identify the structural issues in the profession. One of the most pressing challenges in the legal profession is the practice of senior lawyers offering either a very low or no compensation to junior advocates. This practice is virtually unheard of in the legal professions of the other leading countries. It disproportionately affects individuals from marginalized communities who may lack financial support to sustain themselves during the early years of their careers. It is imperative to move beyond the outdated mindset that junior lawyers should not be paid. With a sense of responsibility, I say that it is ironic that senior lawyers often make grand claims about upholding constitutional values while failing to provide fair remuneration or salary to junior associates in their chambers. To create a more supportive and inclusive environment for junior lawyers, I propose the development of comprehensive mentorship programs. These programs should pair experienced lawyers with young professionals from marginalized communities and women, providing them with the guidance, support, and networking opportunities crucial for career development. Such initiatives can play a significant role in helping junior lawyers navigate the challenges of the profession and build successful careers. Our Chief Justice of India has also consistently raised this issue, highlighting the need for systematic change in the way junior advocates are treated. By implementing mentorship programs and advocating for fair compensation practices, we can work towards a more just and equitable legal profession. Learning and professional growth cannot happen without cultivating empathy and camaraderie towards our colleagues. What would be a great example of mutual growth and support to each other than the Bar Library Club? The club started with just 16 members and now has 400 members. These are not just statistics or numbers, but also a reflection of commitment. Commitment to help each other grow and move forward in the profession. I hope that the club takes the lead in addressing the legal issues highlighted by me. I am happy and grateful to be invited by the club for the inauguration event of Bicentenary celebrations. I extend my heartfelt congratulations to the members of the club for achieving an important milestone in its journey. As it is said, Calcutta city of that. I'm grateful to all of you for making me part of this joyous celebration. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time now for the much awaited Bicentenary lecture. May I respectfully request the Chief Justice of India, Dr. D.Y. Chandrachud, to kindly address this audience.
Good evening. My distinguished colleagues from the bench, Justice Bhushan Gavai, Justice Dipankar Datta, Justice T.S. Sivnam, Chief Justice of the High Court of Calcutta, Judges of the High Court of Calcutta, and Judges, Chief Justices who are serving the nation in other High Courts, my very dear sister, Indira Deep, Justice Indira Banerjee, my very dear brother and friend, Justice Aniruddha Bose, distinguished senior members of the Bar Library Club, Shri Anindya Kumar Mitra and Shri Jayan Kumar Mitra, Mr. Ajay Krishna Chatterjee, the acting president of the Calcutta Bar Library Club, members of the Bar Library Club, esteemed guests and dear friends. The last time that I tried my hand of speaking in Bangla was on the occasion of the farewell of my very dear colleague, Justice Aniruddha Bose. But that was a relatively easy target audience because I believe that about 3 to 5 people in the audience knew Bangla. Today is a little more tricky for me because almost everyone in the audience, with the exception of perhaps Justice Gavai and I, is adept at the language. But I thought I must begin by speaking to you, and what better way to speak to you on such an auspicious occasion than through the heart. আপনাদের সবাইকে আমার আন্তরিক শুভেচ্ছা আর অভিনন্দন। আমি কলকাতায় আসতে খুব পছন্দ করি, তাই ইনভিটেশন পেতেই আমি এখানে আসতে রাজি হয়ে যাই। কলকাতা আমার প্রিয় শহর। কলকাতার ইতিহাস, ঐতিহ্য, সংস্কৃতি is reflected in every stone, every pillar, and every arch adorning the High Court. This commanding venue, the Town Hall, is steeped in a unique history of its own. As also in Kolkata, Manusher Vishti Vyavahar, Kolkata's passion, love of the arts, cricket and football, energy for discourse and dissent, একেবারে অতুলনীয়। আমি বাংলা সাহিত্য, গান আর সিনেমা পড়েছি আর দেখেছি, unparalleled in every way. সময় থাকলে আরো খানিকটা বাংলা বলতাম। আপনাদের সকলকে অনেক ধন্যবাদ যে আমি আমার প্রিয় শহরে আসতে পেরেছি। নমস্কার। It is with immense pride that I stand before you today to celebrate the 200th anniversary of the Calcutta Bar Library Club. With its rich legacy and heritage, this institution has truly been a cornerstone of the legal community in the state and indeed for the entire nation. We have heard during the course of the presentations and speeches by the previous speakers of the galaxy of talent which has been contributed by the Bar Library Club, not only to the history of West Bengal, to the history of the freedom movement, to the public life of the nation, to the arts, culture, truly the best that Established in 1824, the Bar Library Club has witnessed the evolution of our legal systems over 2 centuries. It has been a spectator, not a silent spectator or a mute spectator, to historic trials, landmark judgments, and the careers of some of the most illustrious of legal minds. The walls of our venerable institution have heard the eloquent arguments of legends such as W.C. Banerjee, the first president of the Indian National Congress, Dr. Radha Vinod Pal, the only judge who dissented from the majority judgment in the Tokyo trials, Mr. Subimal Roy, who was elevated directly from the bar to the bench of the Supreme Court of India, Niran Dey, who I heard as a young 13-year-old child in the Keshwanand Bharati case, Ashok Sen, with his sheer forensic brilliance, to name but a few. Each of them has left an indelible mark on our legal history, and many have spoken highly of the club. There has been a great amount of cross-fertilization and cross-migration between my parent High Court, the High Court of Judicature at Bombay, and the Calcutta High Court. Chief Justice Chittatosh Mukherjee, genteel to the core, but a man of steel. As a young lawyer, I was a witness to a tumultuous meeting when the bar decided to boycott several judges of the Bombay High Court whom we believed had transgressed the line of judicial behavior. We decided to impose a boycott. Chief Justice Chittatosh Mukherjee responded by saying that I am withdrawing work from these judges. What tremendous courage that the Chief Justice must have, coming to a different High Court and saying that I am going to withdraw work because my bar has stood behind the cause of judicial independence. But gently, to the core, I remember as a young lawyer, so many of us would go to Grant Road Market on Saturday morning only to watch our Chief Justice Chittatosh Mukherjee, dressed in a Bengali dhoti and a kurta, going to buy fish with a basket in hand. Chief Justice Manoj Kumar Mukherjee, with his mastery over criminal law. Chief Justice A.M. Bhattacharya, what a tremendous grasp over the fundamentals of the law. Never mind what happened in his career. But we must acknowledge the good that lies in every human being. Chief Justice Sabyasachi Mukherjee, who had the courage to tell even the Supreme Court when they stayed the proceeding before him, and he said, let wiser heads decide. But also due credit to the Supreme Court of the time, that when a judge of the Calcutta High Court had said, almost in indignation, when the Supreme Court had stayed a proceeding before him, let wiser heads decide. Yet the Supreme Court felt the wisest among them, namely Justice Sabyasachi Mukherjee, had to be elevated as a judge of the Supreme Court. Those were the traditions. Since its inception, the Bar Library Club was an exclusively male preserve. Until the likes of Namita Gopal, Maya Ray, Leela Seth and Rumapal, who later became a judge of the Supreme Court, joined as members. This inclusion was a significant step towards gender equality in the legal profession. These trailblazing women have not only broken barriers in the glass ceiling, but have also paved the way for future generations of female lawyers. Their contributions have enriched the club's legacy and inspired a more inclusive and diverse legal community. This sums up the idea of inspiring inclusion to me. Your own personal achievements can have an immensely powerful influence on others who follow, who see what you have done and realize their own aspirations are achievable. Setting a tangible example for others makes a real difference to diversity within the profession. The Bar Library Club has been truly a center for good fellowship, not just for good learning, for professionalism, but for good fellowship. A very distinguished journalist and artist, Desmond Doig, has said, there is a sense of judicious levity, particularly in the Bar Library, to suggest that the law has a sense of humor and a heart. In Mumbai, we also have a great deal of camaraderie and friendship at the bar. We had two very distinguished professionals, two brothers, one of whom became a judge, the other remained at the bar. With a great deal of affection, we used to call the judge Doctor. I will not take the name. We used to call the judge Doctor. We used to call his brother who remained at the bar Compounder. There is a story about the compounder, the younger colleague who remained at the bar. He walked out of the court deeply miffed at the fact that the single judge had not merely declined to grant him relief but dismissed his petition summarily. So the client from the district perhaps walked up to this lawyer and said, "What happened? You were telling us that we had a fairly good case." So he looked very somberly at the client and said, "The single judge who was sitting alone told me that this case is so complex that I cannot handle it. You'll have to go before two judges now." So that was the beginning of the letters patent appeal then in that case. On 4th of July 1860, a resolution was passed by the Bar Library Club that no conversation which takes place inside the club will be repeated outside, and with justification. So many things which are spoken of in the Bar Library Club are sufficient proof against the operation of the laws of defamation, particularly in relation to the judges. Very often, in our own club, the corresponding Bombay Bar Association, you would hear a senior member or a junior member coming to the club and say, "Samajh to nathi." The man didn't understand what I was arguing. But these are the traditions. No malice, a sense of joy, a sense of camaraderie, an understanding of the human failings and the human drama that takes place every day of our lives in the courts. But I want to talk to you about two or three important issues which have been close to my heart. The first issue that demands our focused attention and a united and determined response is encouraging women's empowerment and increasing their participation in the legal profession to achieve the maximum representation. Strides have been made towards achieving greater gender representation. We put out a report in the Supreme Court called The State of the Judiciary last year as part of the Center for Research and Planning, which found that women now constitute about 36.3% of the working strength of the district judiciary. Interestingly, in state after state now, in the course of competitive examinations for recruitment at the lowest level of the judicial service, over 60% of the recruits are now women. That shows you the social evolution which is taking place in India. But while progress has been made in terms of gender representation, there remains a pressing need to ensure that our judicial institutions are truly inclusive and accommodating for all. It is concerning to note that despite the presence of female lawyers, amenities and facilities catering to their specific needs are sorely lacking. Women often have multifaceted identities, balancing household tasks and child-rearing responsibilities alongside their professional careers. Managing both the domestic and professional spheres can be a daunting exercise for women. The expectation that women shoulder dual roles as caregivers and as professionals highlights the need for supportive policies and environments within our legal institutions. One of the steps which we took after I took over as Chief Justice of India was to provide for a wholesome meal to every member of our staff, a large number of whom consist of women. We have over 2,000 employees in the Supreme Court. And a young law clerk who came to me yesterday to bid me farewell said that one important thing that we had done was to provide for a sum of 25 rupees, a meal for every member of the staff, which consists of a few fulkas, rice, dal, vegetables, and a sweet at the end. And she said, sir, so many women who have no time to cook for themselves in the morning, but yes, must come to the workforce every day, avail of this facility. A small initiative like this makes such a big difference to the empowerment of women. So empowerment of women is not in the big ticket things, but in small issues where you make a difference to the lives of women. Recently, my colleagues at the Supreme Court, Justice Suryakant and Justice K.V. Vishwanathan, directed the Supreme Court Bar Association to reserve the post of treasurer for a woman in the upcoming elections, as well as 3 out of 9 posts in the working committee and 2 out of 6 in the senior executive committee. The Bombay Bar Association in the city of Mumbai has similarly adopted a change in its bylaws to allow for more women to be elected as members of the association. I urge our legal fraternity to build on these initiatives, ensuring that they translate into meaningful actions that foster a more equitable treatment for women and environment for women. Encouraging diversity and inclusion strengthens our legal system and enriches the perspectives that drive justice. We must continue to support and mentor young women entering the profession, ensuring they have equal opportunities to excel and lead. The Supreme Court of India had designated in 75 years of its history a total of 13 women as senior counsel. In February, with the great and tremendous support of Justice Gavai and Justice Khanna, the Attorney General and the members of the bar who are our colleagues on the committee, we designated 12 women in one shot in one particular selection. The legacy of the Calcutta Bar Library Club is a testament to the progress we have made, but it is also a reminder of the work that still lies ahead. The second issue which I want to address this evening is the lack of professionalism among advocates. This may be one of the major reasons why the standards in so many of our high courts and in the district judiciary have taken a dip to a depth that eminent judges and quality advocates do not get the recognition that they deserve pan-India. In today's times, common citizens feel that adjournment has become a routine part of the judicial system. This perception is disheartening, as adjournments which were never intended to be commonplace have now become normalized within the judicial process. This leads to prolonged litigation, increased costs for litigants, and delayed justice, ultimately eroding the public trust in our legal system. My experience over the last 24 years is that far more difficult than delivering judgment, far more difficult than engaging with the lawyers in a complex case, is the difficulty of the judge in getting a lawyer to open a case for argument. But surely that has to change. Let me draw an analogy from a Hindi cinema. In the movie Jolly LLB, there is a notable scene where the protagonist, a struggling lawyer named Jolly, confronts the courtroom dynamics and challenges prevalent within the legal system. In one instance, Jolly observes another advocate manipulating evidence to favor his wealthy client, revealing the ethical compromises and injustices that can occur within the legal system. This fictional portrayal vividly reflects real-world concerns, where professionalism and ethical standards are sometimes compromised, affecting the credibility of legal proceedings. The nursery for developing a professional bar lies in mentorship by seniors, and that is where institutions like the Bar Library Club are so crucial to our profession. I joined the chambers of Mr. Temtan Adhyarjuna, a very distinguished member of the original side of the Bombay High Court, who later on became Solicitor General of India. When I walked into his chamber, I wished him good morning and I said, "Good morning, sir, and I'll be happy to work on any brief that you give me." And the first thing that he told me was, "There are no sirs in this chamber. Learn to call me by my first name, Temtan." Now that is the tradition on the original side of the Bombay High Court. It's not the tradition on the appellate side of the High Court. Because on the appellate side, you have lawyers who come from the rural areas, there's a sense of respect, there's a certain degree of hierarchy. But what this did was, and I thought I'll mention this example, when my senior told me to call him by his first name, and I then called him by his first name until he passed away a few years ago, was that he was trying to indicate to me the intellectual equality of every member of the profession. By calling him Tempton, I was not running him down. After all, he was the head of chambers, the head of the family for all of us juniors in the chamber. But there was this intellectual equality, a feeling that we are not there only to learn, but we would teach a thing or two even to our senior. Payment to juniors must be commensurate with the work which they put in. Too often, as seniors, we believe that juniors come to us to learn. And because they come to us to learn, where is the question of paying the juniors? I think times have changed. Though we live in our tradition, we can't live in the traditions of 1860. Young juniors who come to us to learn come with the hope that they will be able to make a dignified living out of the legal profession, so that they do not have to cut corners to make that little paltry money to survive in a big city like Calcutta or in Mumbai or Delhi. But more than anything else, I wanted to share this story because we as judges of the Supreme Court have law clerks. I have learned over the last 8 years that while I have mentored my law clerks, every single day that I interact with the law clerks, I learn from them more than I give to them. Because the younger generation in our profession reflects the voice of the community, the voice of our society. Perhaps as senior lawyers, senior judges, we may become disconnected with society by our own eminence. These youngsters have a pulse of society, and there's so much that we can learn from them. And therefore, in the Supreme Court, we have put together a scheme for open recruitment of young law clerks. This year, we held an open examination over 22 centers in India. We recruit young law clerks on the basis of a competitive examination. We had over 8,000 young lawyers who applied for recruitment as law clerks, for a total of about 90 positions in the Supreme Court. We paid them 80,000 rupees for the first year and 90,000 for the second year. I believe we paid 35,000 in the Calcutta High Court. Every city has, of course, own standard of living and other things. But the reason why I mention this is that it's very important for us to set parameters. It is important that the way in which we recruit young juniors to our chambers must mark a break from the past. Recruitment of young juniors to chambers should not be on the basis of purely networks. Justice Gavai spoke about the need to ensure that youngsters from the marginalized groups come into the profession. Youngsters belonging to the marginalized segments of our society are not part of networks. They lack cultural capital. They do not have the sense of cultural capital which the more affluent amongst young lawyers have. So how do you then attract them? You can attract them by creating a level playing field. The recruitment of over 60 or 70% women lawyers into the district judiciary has an important model for us. When you create a level playing platform, a level playing field, you open yourselves as a legal profession to people without direct. And it is only then that we'll be able to truly make ourselves an equal opportunity profession. But mentorship of the bar also involves a crucial role for judges in the court. Mentoring young lawyers is equally the function of a judge. Recently, just 3 weeks before we closed, my bench of 3 judges in the Supreme Court was dealing with a very important case which arose from the state of Gujarat, dealing with the recruitment of additional district and sessions judges. We were dead against the petitioners. The respondents argued and we were completely with the respondents. We heard the petitioners in rejoinder, quite a few eminent counsel, and we were dead against them. And the last voice to be heard was of this young woman lawyer who was a junior at the bar. We heard her for about a minute, thinking that we'll hear her for about 2 or 3 more minutes and then wrap up the proceeding. For those 2 minutes, she started making a dent in the opinion of the court. At the end of 15 minutes, she had completely swung the bench in her favor, and the judgment ultimately went in favor of the petitioners. Which is truly an indicator that real talent today also rests in the junior members of the bar. Of course, we venerate the seniors because they bring the voice of experience. They are the stabilizing influence in the profession. They are the people who will tell the juniors when they get excited, when the passions of the moment take the better of juniors, when they run into difficulty with the judge. The seniors are the people who will caution, restrain. That these are the ups and downs of the profession which you have to handle. But truly, we have to make more space for the juniors in our profession. So much of time is lost in courts. When I was appointed as Chief Justice of the Allahabad High Court, I realized that when references are conducted for deceased members of the bar, the court would rise for the day after the reference was over. The bar would insist that after the reference was over, there would be no further judicial work. When my father passed away, I was a young judge of the Bombay High Court, and the bar came to the Chief Justice and said, Chief Justice, a distinguished former member of the bar who became Chief Justice of India has passed away, and we'd like the work to be closed at the end of the reference. The Chief Justice wisely said, well, his son happens to be a member of our fraternity. Why don't you go across to the chamber of my brother Dhananjay and ask him what he would like to do? I had a suggestion. I said, why don't we begin the reference half an hour before the closing time of the court? The reference will probably get over around the closing time of the court, at which point the Chief Justice may then say that the remaining part of the judicial work of the court will remain suspended, which meant that the court went on for pretty much the whole day. We adopted the same thing in the Calcutta, in the Allahabad High Court. And I would really request a little bit of a rethink on the part of all of you. Should we be at all ceasing work because a member of the bar has passed away? Well, of course, we respect our friends, our colleagues, our seniors. Sometimes, unfortunately, there are peers who have passed away untimely. But do we need to affect the wider society at large? Every minute of judicial time which is lost is judicial time lost in answering a case of a litigant who is crying for justice. An NDPS accused who has been denied bail as a carrier for the last 3 years. We get so many of these cases coming in from the hinterland. Should we not, therefore, be very serious about the fact that we shouldn't be losing even a minute's time of court working time? And we can alter our traditions. Our traditions can be suitably altered to pay respect, yet at the same time, make ourselves in tune with the demands of modern society. And I'm sure that you will continue to do so, build on the traditions, yet move towards the needs of modernity. The third thing I want to speak about is resistance to technological advancements within our legal profession. Technology is not a privilege reserved for the elite. It is a tool meant to enhance the delivery of justice to all. Just as sunshine is the best disinfectant, technology can serve as our greatest asset in eliminating inefficiencies and opacity within judicial processes. I hear numerous stories in my court where advocates have embraced technology, which in turn enhances access to justice in remarkable ways. Today I had the great honor and privilege to sit in the Chief Justice's court at the Calcutta High Court, something I'll treasure for the rest of my life. One thing which I appeal to all members of the bar was that we have video conferencing. Please appear through video conferencing in the Supreme Court from the Calcutta High Court. Your litigants know you the best. You have conducted the trial on the original side or in the civil court. You have conducted a first appeal or a second appeal or a civil division. You know the face of the client. Who better than you to make the presentation before the Supreme Court? The adoption of hybrid and virtual court hearings, video conferencing, these have significantly reduced delays caused by physical distance. These technological innovations allow hearings to proceed efficiently, even when participants are geographically dispersed. It means that litigants, especially those in remote areas or facing mobility challenges, can access judicial proceedings more readily. It bridges the gap between legal services and those who need them, ensuring that justice is not delayed due to logistical barriers. Today, legal research has become revolutionized with unprecedented access to databases, online journals, and e-books. What once required days of efforts can now be accomplished within hours. The integration of artificial intelligence and machine learning is also transforming how we sift through vast amounts of information, making legal research more efficient and insightful. Over the last 1.5 years, we've been translating every one of the 37,000 judgments of the Supreme Court into each language which is recognized by the Constitution using machine learning and, of course, teams of district judges, because human verification is necessary. All 37,000 judgments have been translated into Hindi. Over 11,000 judgments of the Supreme Court have been translated into Bangla, which explains why I think I've tried my hand at liberal Bangla this evening. Amidst these technological advancements, libraries like the Calcutta Bar Library Club retain profound significance. Albert Einstein famously remarked, "The only thing that you absolutely have to know is the location of the library." The physical space of a library holds a unique sanctity, a place where knowledge is cherished, not merely stored. Libraries don't just store knowledge, they cherish knowledge. Since its inception, the club has epitomized meticulous and labor-intensive legal research. Many of you may have spent hours poring over tomes, cross-referencing cases, and honing arguments with precision, fostering a deep understanding of the law. The Bar Library remains an invaluable resource where tradition and innovation converge, supporting a culture of readership and offering more than just books. It is a sanctuary for learning, reflection, and growth. The role of bar libraries in providing access to curated collections is pivotal, particularly for young lawyers and scholars. Membership rules should ensure that these resources remain accessible to all, regardless of background or financial means. Their accessibility is essential for ensuring equitable access to legal knowledge and resources, bridging gaps for marginalized communities who often face barriers in accessing legal information. These libraries should serve as inclusive spaces where legal professionals from diverse backgrounds can access comprehensive and reliable resources to enhance their understanding and practice of the law. By maintaining accessibility and inclusion, bar libraries contribute significantly to fostering a more equitable legal profession and supporting professional development across the legal community. I don't know how many of you know this, but all the judgments of the Supreme Court are now placed in the digital format, the digital SCR, which is a resource which is available free of charge. The Digi SCR reads like a book. It's an exact replica of a book. Please use the Digi SCR because you do not have to subscribe to it. Users can conduct free text, case type and year, judge and bench strength searches facilitated by Elasticsearch technology for quick and efficient retrieval of judicial decisions. Ensuring accessibility through initiatives like conducting regular workshops for junior lawyers, led by senior members of the bar, might be beneficial for nurturing professional development and enhancing a legal skill. These workshops would provide invaluable mentorship, guidance, and practical insights that are often not fully covered in formal legal education. Practical aspects like courtroom procedure, case management strategies, advocacy skills, and ethical considerations could be covered in these sessions. I remember in our small reference section of the Bombay Bar Library, there was a senior member of the bar by the name of Mr. Kharseji Baba. Mr. Kharseji Baba was a quintessential Parsi. He had a very colorful tongue, and many seniors in the bar libraries have colorful tongues. So when we went to the reference section in search of an authority, he would first give us the choicest epithets in Parsi Gujarati, but then he'd call you and say, what is it that you want? And I would say that, Karseti, I'm looking for this pointer on excise law. He would tell you, come and sit here. He would tell you, well, the classical case of the point is Bombay Tire International. It has been distinguished in a particular case, been followed in a particular case. It has almost been overruled on a particular point while distinguishing the case. So this was the sort of mentorship which we received from senior members of the bar. In conclusion then, let me say that the Bar Library Club was established in 1825, 37 years before the Calcutta High Court was established in 1862. What is the moral of this story? The Bar Library Club predates the Calcutta High Court. What is the moral of the story? Now, reflecting on this, the moral is that we judges come and go. We are just pilgrims on the path of justice. But the bar as an institution is forever. The bar is a representative of the eternal values on which our society is founded: justice, equality, dignity, liberty, and fraternity. You know, Deshbandhu Chittaranjan Das, in his defense of Sri Aurobindo in the Alipur bomb blast case, said, the accused, he said, is standing not in the bar of the court, but in the bar of the High Court of history. I thought that these are prescient words for every generation. He said the accused stands not in the bar of the court, but in the bar of history. Long after he is dead and gone, he will be looked upon as the poet of patriotism, as the prophet of nationalism, and the lover of humanity. So I then leave you with this thought, that what does the Bar Library Club symbolize? What is this tradition that we have inherited, that we hold in trust, and that we are expected to pass on to the future? And that is this tradition of being not just a professional body, but a literary body, embodying within ourselves poets of patriotism, prophets of nationalism, and lovers of humanity that we all are. And it is in that tradition of the Bar Library Club that I salute all of you for being the inheritors of such a great tradition of the Calcutta High Court. Since I have come here for the first time, I thought I should take a little longer than I was assigned. My first visit to the Calcutta High Court as a young lawyer was when I had barely put in 2 years of practice. My clients were the Union of the Railway Protection Force, as I was sharing with the judges a short while ago. The greatest luxury that was bestowed on me was an Indian Airlines ticket to come to Calcutta to argue the case, which I thought had made my day and year. I didn't get any fee for the matter. When we landed in Calcutta, I was taken to the waiting room of the Howrah railway station where we stayed for the night. My two clients, the President and the General Secretary of the Union, slept on the carpet below my bed, giving me the great luxury of being the sole occupant of the bed. We went back. I was deeply pleased that though I didn't make a single rupee as a fee, I got my first appearance in the Calcutta High Court. Little did I realize in 1984 that I'll be here 40 years later, bestowed with this great honor of addressing the members of such a distinguished institution. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We come to the end of the program. Our gratitude to all the distinguished guests for gracing this function. We are also very grateful to all the learned judges, past and present, of the Honourable Supreme Court, other High Courts, and of course, our very own Calcutta High Court. Allow us to round off by uttering just 2 words straight from the heart. Thank you. Thank you for being with us. Ladies and gentlemen, please join us for refreshments.
দার্জিলিংয়ে ক্যাভেন্টারের দোকান
ও ওটা তো ক্যামেরা কিন্তু ভেজ ওটা লাভ হবে না
খাবার খেয়ে
ভালো মাছ খেয়েছে বলেছে ভালো মাছ
মাছ খেয়ে খেয়ে ঝাল খেয়ে তোমার সহ্য হবে না
ওখানে ভালো মাছ পাচ্ছ না
চল 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 এখানে তোমার বাঙালি খাবার চলো চলো
কেমন আছেন
আমি প্রতিবার করে একবার করে এবং
দিনকে দিন ফিল্ম স্টারের মতন হয়ে যাচ্ছে আশা করি ব্লকিংগুলো আছে ওপেন করে দাও 15th onward তোমাকে তো বন্ধ হ্যাঁ না তোমাকে ওখানে ওইসব কিছু
parents have left, yes. আমি আসবো করে just couldn't manage the time. সব ইভিনিংয়ে থাকে তো
আজকিং বলবো কি একটা জিনিস বলার ছিল
কি বলো
বলবো যেটা আমাকে কালকে বলছিলিস কোটে বলবো ঠিক আছে ও শিল্ড অফ
No, I'm in a bit of a hurry because my borrow niece has come and one of my cousins is having a get-together. But I couldn't just not come here. Oh, she's fine. So, when they're back in September, I'll let you know. I'll message you September after your culture. Okay.
Will also permit me to take a photograph.
Certainly.
Selfie.
Oh, certainly.
Then I need a picture here.
Dada, selfie নিচ্ছি
এই পরিতোষ আয়
ঠিক আছে
চা
তাড়াতাড়ি এবার আমি খুব পালাবো ওকে দাদা এবার আমি একটা জিনিস পোস্ট করবো পোস্ট করবো একটা জিনিস শাক এসো
ফ্যামিলি পিকচার Yeah. She's part of your extended family. Lady, how are you?